Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to this exclusive LinkedIn Live session hosted by Amrita Devi Foundation, Stories That Matter. Today's session is not just a discussion, it's a powerful conversion of the purpose, strategy, and the measurable impact. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the vision and the on ground impact at Amrita Devi Foundation. So let's have a video, please.
यह सफर उत्तराखंड से शुरू हुआ, लेकिन हमारा सपना सिर्फ एक क्षेत्र तक सीमित रहना नहीं है। हमारा लक्ष्य है पूरे भारत में बदलाव लाना। एक ऐसा भारत जहां महिलाएं और युवा अपने पैरों पर खड़े हों, जहां पर्यावरण और विकास साथ साथ चले और जहां हर गांव, हर शहर अवसर और आत्मनिर्भरता का प्रतीक बने। इसी सोच के साथ हमने अपने पहले विंग अमृता देवी विमेन स्किल डेवलपमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट शुरू किया। हमने महिलाओं को कौशल देना शुरू किया। कंप्यूटर ऑपरेटर में, सिलाई कढ़ाई में और डिजिटल मार्केटिंग जैसे कोर्सों के जरिए और अब तक 1500 से अधिक महिलाओं ने प्रशिक्षण ले लिया है। इनमें से 300 से अधिक महिलाएं आज आत्मनिर्भर हैं। किसी ने अपना व्यवसाय शुरू किया तो किसी ने रोजगार पाया। हर कौशल स्वतंत्रता और सम्मान की ओर एक कदम बना। क्योंकि हम मानते हैं जब महिलाएं आगे बढ़ती हैं तो पूरा समाज तरक्की करता है।
My experience was amazing throughout the course. And all of it helped me a lot to become a better version of me. Thank you.
जिसमें डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के कोर्स में मैंने SEO, SMM, कैनवा, लिंक्डइन वीडियो एडिटिंग सीखा।
जब तक मैंने सिलाई करूँगी तो लक्ष्मी मैम ने बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत आसान तरीके से समझाया, उसमें मुझे काफी कुछ समझ आया है।
यहाँ कंप्यूटर का 3 महीने का कोर्स किया और उसके बाद मेरे पे बहुत सारे चेंजेस आए। मैं बच्चों को लिखवाने पढ़ाने के साथ साथ अधिक से अधिक प्रैक्टिकल भी करवाती हूँ। अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ।
सबसे पहले मैं अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ। फिर मैं गुरुजी नीति जी का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ, जिन्होंने हमें 6 महीने फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट सिलाई सीखने का मौका दिया, जिससे अब हम अच्छे से सिलाई सीखकर अपने खुद के कपड़े और आस-पास पड़ोस रिश्तेदारों के कपड़े सिलकर बेनिफिट कमा पा रहे हैं।
परिवर्तन सिर्फ कौशल से नहीं आता। प्रकृति के बिना जीवन अधूरा है। इसलिए हमने अपने दूसरे विंग अमृता देवी अर्थ केयर के शुरुआत के, जिसके तहत उत्तराखंड से लेकर दिल्ली NCR तक हमने 1500 से अधिक पौधे लगाए हैं, जिनमें चंदन जैसे बहुमूल्य वृक्ष और दूसरे प्रजातियां जो हमारे पर्यावरण को सुरक्षित करते हैं भी शामिल हैं। ये पौधे न सिर्फ पर्यावरण को बचाते हैं बल्कि किसानों के लिए भविष्य की आय का साधन भी बनते हैं। और यही नहीं, हमने 110 से अधिक स्मोकलेस चूल्हे भी गांव-गांव पहुंचाए। इनसे घरों का धुआं कम हुआ, महिलाओं और बच्चों की सेहत बेहतर हुई और हर घर को मिला स्वच्छ सांस लेने का अधिकार। हमारे इन प्रयासों को देश भर में सराहा गया।
साथ में अगर आप देखें आज के दिन, तो एक जो सपना देखा गया था उसे आप एक शेप में होते हुए देख सकते।
साथ रिखानी गांव जो कि अल्मोड़ा में स्थित है, वहां पे पहुंचा। अमृता देवी अर्थ केयर की तरफ से जो कार्य पर्यावरण के लिए किया जा रहा है उसका एक जायजा हमने यहाँ पे लिया। मुझे ऐसा लगा कि एक ऐसा काम कर रहे हैं कि जो सिर्फ पर्यावरण के साथ साथ जो यहाँ के रहने वाले हैं उनको भी इकोनॉमिकली सपोर्ट करें। ये जो मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, ये एक चंदन का वृक्ष है। कभी सोचा नहीं होगा कि चंदन के वृक्ष उत्तराखंड में भी इस तरह से लगाए जा सकते हैं, बट ये जो मुहिम चलाई है, जहाँ लोगों को एक दिशा दी गई है कि वो चंदन के पेड़ लगाएं, पर्यावरण की तरफ है ही जो सपोर्ट उसमें मिलेगा, बट इकोनॉमिकली ऑल्सो इट विल हेल्प द पीपल दोज हु आर रिसाइडिंग इन दिस एरिया।
मेरा नाम सुनीता मेहता है, मैं ग्राम रिखानी से हूँ और हमें आज अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन द्वारा धुआं रहित चूल्हे मिले। हम इनका प्रयोग करेंगे तो हमें धुआं नहीं लगेगा और जिससे हमारा स्वास्थ्य ठीक रहेगा। अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन का धन्यवाद करती हूँ जिन्होंने हमें धुआं रहित चूल्हे दिए। धन्यवाद।
एक नया कदम अमृता देवी स्किल इंडिया के साथ इस पहल के तहत हम युवाओं को आईटी सेक्टर की इंडस्ट्री डिमांड के अनुसार ट्रेन करेंगे। 6 महीने तक अनुभवी विशेषज्ञों द्वारा गहन प्रशिक्षण और अगले 6 महीने में प्लेसमेंट की सुविधा। यह 1 साल का कार्यक्रम युवाओं को जॉब रेडी बनाएगा और कॉरपोरेट्स को मिलेंगे स्किल्ड और प्रशिक्षित प्रोफेशनल्स। CSR पार्टनर्स के लिए एक विशेष लाभ, इन प्रशिक्षित छात्रों को हायर करने का पहला अधिकार। हमारी मेहनत को सम्मानित किया गया है, जिसके लिए हमें बेस्ट एनजीओ घोषित किया गया 2021 में GNE अवार्ड्स द्वारा और भारत इकोनॉमिक फोरम की सदस्यता प्राप्त हुई और इनक्रेडिबल वर्क प्लेसेस गोल्ड सर्टिफिकेशन अवार्ड मिला है और बहुत सारे अभी और आने बाकी हैं। हमारे वेल विशर्स जिनके सपोर्ट से ये संभव हुआ, हमारे इस सफर को और मजबूत बना रहे हैं। यही है अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन की पहचान। यह यात्रा सिर्फ हमारी नहीं, आपकी भी है। आपके सहयोग से ही यह क्रांति और गहरी जड़ें पकड़ सकती है। आइए मिलकर एक ऐसा भविष्य बनाएं जहां हर महिला सशक्त हो, हर पौधा पनपे और हर जीवन बदले। आज ही अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन से जुड़े, हमारी वेबसाइट देखें और हमें सोशल मीडिया पर फॉलो करें और हमारे साथ बदलाव का हिस्सा बने।
Thank you so much for watching the work and the impact of Amrita Devi Foundation. And that's perfectly set the tone of today. Because CSR today is no longer about the intent alone. It is about accountability, measurable outcome, and the real business value, which bring us today's So really sorry, my camera was, my mic was off. So thank you so much for watching the work and the impact of Amrita Devi Foundation, and that perfectly sets the tone of for today. Because CSR today is no longer about the intent alone; it's about accountability, measurable outcome, and the real business value. Which brings us today's powerful topic from ESG to ROI, measuring the real impact of the CSR in 2026. So let me now introduce our esteemed panel leaders who are not just driving the HR and the CSR strategies, but redefining the impact at scale. So first we are having with us is Dr. Rajesh Kumar Rai, and he is the Group HR at Senso Tires, a highly respected Group HR leader, and with over 38 years of experience across Adani Groups, Aditya Birla Group, and Imami. He has led the large-scale workforce transformations, managed thousands of employees, and driven over 20,000 recruitments. His expertise spans industrial relations, M&A, and operational excellence. A decorated leader, he has been honored with Gem of India and Top HR Leader Awards. Welcome, Rajesh ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So next we are having with us is Swati Sharma. She is the Director HR People and Culture at Bright Hospitality Private Limited, a dynamic Director HR People and Culture with 18 plus years of experience across hospitality, aviation, and the global organizations. She has led end-to-end HR strategy and employee experience across companies like Air India and the global firms. With academic excellence from TISS and Wellinkar, she blends strategy and execution. A recipient of multiple leadership awards, she continues to redefine the modern HR. So welcome, Swati ji.
Thank you. Thank you, Himata.
So next we are having with us Mr. Parag Bhatnagar, and he is the Vice President HR at Aldi Madi Impacts Limited, a seasoned Vice President HR with 25 years of cross-industry leadership experience. He has held roles like CHRO and HR Director, driving the transformation and employee branding, known for building performance-driven cultures aligned with business goals. and I am a certified HR leader with strong strategic expertise. Welcome, Paragji.
Thank you so very much.
So next we are having with us is Jasleen Chaudhary. She is the General Manager HR at Aritis Health, a highly impactful General Manager HR with 20 plus years of experience across IT, BFSI, healthcare, and services. She leads HR strategy for a workforce of 950 plus employees. Her approach blends people-centric leadership with structure and accountability. A certified POSH trainer focused on inclusive workplaces. So welcome, Jasleen ji. And now, final, we are having with us Manish Datta, and he is the Associate Director HR at Blue Ant, a strategic Associate Director HR with 16 plus years of experience across multiple industries. He specializes in the data-driven HR framework and digital transformation. Works closely with the leadership to align people strategy with business outcomes, passionate about linking CSR and ESG with measurable ROI. So now, moving to our today's topic and the panel discussions, let's start it. So Manishji, let me start with you. In 2026, ESG has become a boardroom priority. But where do you see the biggest gap between the CSR intent and the actual measurable impact? Over to you.
Okay, sure. So first of all, good evening to all our panel members. Thank you, Ms. Hemlata, and good evening to audience. And yes, now just come on to the topic directly. We always talk about CSR. It's a very important, needed time of the movement. But what exactly the CSR is, what we are doing with, and as a term, we just talk about ESG. So first of all, I just want to tell like what ESG is like. It's about environmental, how it affects on the environment of the company, social, how the company is impacting onto the social ways, and the governance, like how the compliance wise your policy is ethically, how it impacting overall. So if I talk about like CSR, so in 2026, ESG has definitely becomes a boardroom priority, no doubt. But the biggest gap, what I say is like between the intent and the measurement metrics. Every organizations are investing in the CRS, CSR, but many of them still actively driven rather than impact driven. So they are all get into the doing the activity, but not into the measurement of the activity or what results we are coming with. From my experience across hospitality, real estate, manufacturing, IT, I have seen that company often focus on what they're doing, like for example, tree plantations, community drives, some training programs, but not enough are they actually make the changes on to the impact wise, or we are just doing the activity for a sake, like yes, we are in the CR, so just doing that. So if I say like what impact in that way is like what after the training sessions do employees upgrade their skills really? Their salary revisions are really done on that basis, or do their income affects on that way? Or in regards of the organization, if I talk about, so do the organization investing, but are they getting the brand trust into the market or not? Customer preferences will be attracted or not? Main thing as an HR, I can say employee retention is moving or not because of your CSR activities. So the gap is not the intent because everyone have pure intent and intent is very strong. The gap is in defining clear success metrics, tracking long-term project instead of looking just doing an activity for the sake of the our compliances or for the part of the job. So, in my view, in a short version, if I say it's largely activity driven rather than the impact, as I again said the same. And but what are how we can make them implemented now comes up to a solution in a shorter way. We should see as in CSR not a cost center. We have to see CSR as an investment center and as strategic investments. Not only the investment is a strategic investment where we can't say a return in just a year or a month or a quarter or a half year. We have to develop our name into CSR as a brand, which makes and come into of the outcome of the organization as well as the individual HRs. I just give you one example of my own past hospitalities segment. One of the candidate I interviewed, so I asked like where you see like how you come to know this about opening. He's also I just saw under some job portal, but when I research, I see your company is more focused on the purpose of the society and you actually visible into that things. It's not only like we are just doing in and closing the things. So this one of the thing which I feel, yes, what we are doing, it's revolving into the environment and it affecting either in a positive or whatever way, but yes, it's giving the result to us. Secondly, how we can make more into that is like, from the strategic point of view, main thing, we have to design something which correlate this with our KPIs of the performance. We have to set CSR is not just to be a kind of activity which have to perform, but which can be analyzed into the metrics way, where we can set the goal settings, what we do, KRAs, KPIs, whatever the best things as an HR or as an committee members knows. But at least we can have measure impact so that it will be justified, it will be onto the papers, it on to be the effective manner. It just not onto the way of like, yes, we did it and that was our job and we are done with it. So this is my input in regards of like where CSR is as per the boardroom priority, but where CSR wants to go and to get the results.
So thank you so much, Manishji. First of all, thank you so much for this very insightful discussion or your answer for this question. Along with it, thank you so much for giving one story also, and it gives real the purpose your organization is doing right now. And what clearly emerges is that while the intent is strong, the gap lies in the structural measurement and the accountability. And impact today is not about what we initiate, it's all about what we consistently measure and validate. So, my next question is to Dr. Rajesh Kumar Rai. Dr. Rai, coming to you. So, how can organization effectively move from activity-based CSR to impact-driven CSR that really reflects the ROI? Moving to you.
Yeah, nice. CSR is not a new phenomena. Earlier, if you will notice, the big corporates in earlier days do this as the philanthropy. Then, by the government notifications and statutory provisions, CSR has been taken the place sometime 2013 as organization has to spend the 2% of their net profit as the CSR expenditures. So companies have started that time lot of initiative. If I mention, sometime in 2 decades before, I got the opportunity through CII to visit as the CSR mission. That was headed by me, and we have visited to Jamshedpur. There we have experienced the good work of the Tata as well as the Usha Martin. Sometime after that, we have stayed in South to TVS Group. There are lot of activities they are taking for the women empowerment, sustainability, and self-help groups. In remote area, they are the very poor infrastructure of the women health. They have started to initiate and give that, support them. Like you are doing the computer literacy, that time they have initiated, ITC has started with the computer bus, and in one bus they have modified with the almost 20 desktops, and that moving village to village and taking the literacy course for the basic like MS Office and other initial softwares where they can do. But nowadays, when we are talking about the ESG, last year that it has been started, I believe last year or prior to last year, when SEBI has given SRBR reporting systems. Earlier in CSR, people are taking as the what really they did. that are coming in the CSR. Like we have planted the 1 lakh trees at the plantation. We have given the school kits of the 1,000 to students. We have trained the so much of uh, students. But now when we are moving, as uh, Ms. Hemlata has mentioned, that how the ROI will affect here, what is the really impact is on life. So how we have to move. They are not only reporting. When CSR is all about that what we have did, but now how we have to go, what we did, and how it's affecting to the life, how it's delivering, what change has come in our life. So now it's required a mindset change in the mindset that we, if we are taking from society, then we have to contribute the society. Manishji, I believe, had mentioned that how it had become the board priority nowadays. I am the board member with some company. So now board has become responsible, accountable for the ESG. Everybody is talking about the net zero on environment. But by our plantation, what sort of the carbon credit we have got? Or when we have trained 1,000 students or candidates, after training, how many had got the jobs? Are percolated that some earnings, like Hemlata ji has mentioned that about 1,000 girls has been trained, and out of that 300 are the maintaining their livelihood by the some jobs or the self initiatives. So that result should be indicate in clarity that what change has been happened after our initiatives. ESG had become set the metrics when business responsibility and sustainability report is every board meeting has to be discussed. Then it's required that actually it should be translated on the ground that CSR ESG activities are going on. If companies, corporates are taking as the ESG as the with the responsible hand, then they have to make that the ESG as the core part of the core strategy. And sometime if they are linking the some tech company can give the computer literacy, some eco-friendly ecological company can take the plantation, so they can take the ROI also from society. If general corporate are doing this, they are just contributing, but they are not getting the ROI for their self. That's going for the society. So we have to take the measurable metrics when we are talking about the ROIs, when we have to take the measurable metrics like when we trained, then what percentage of employment, when we have planted, then how much of their sustained, and after that, whether we got the carbon credit or greenery, every time ESG matters are not contributing in the tangible way. there are a lot of intangible benefits that we have to take as the ROI, because every time we can't count that we have spent crores of rupees, then we have got the benefit of the crore rupees as the doubled or added with there. So we had to check lot of things. Corporate is normally commercial organizations, and they are taking that whether ESG is adding to their any bottom line. So it could be, but if you are taking your strategy as the part of your core business, that in long term business, it will give you the complete ROI. Thank you, gentlemen. In this short time, I would like to
Thank you
pitch.
so much, Rajesh, and thank you for a powerful strategic perspective. And really like your point that not only reporting, how it is delivered, that is very important. And that is very true that the change in the mindset is very important, and for the organizations also and for the NGOs also. And the major thing that the result should be indicated in the clarity, and that is very important. Everything you are doing, it's whether it be a plantation activity, whether it be for educating girls or women or anything, or whether you are giving the skill programs to the youth also. But the major thing is that what impact you are creating and what numbers you are creating the impact, that is very important. And I hope we both the organizations and the NGOs have to focus on that. And thank you so much. And in last, I would add to one thing that when purpose aligns with the performance, ROI becomes visible.
Sure,
So my
sure.
next question is to you. Thank you, Rajeshji. And my next question is to Swatiji for you. That Swatiji, we want your thoughts on that. That what are the most meaningful KPIs today to measure the CSR success beyond just reports and the compliance metrics?
Yeah. So CSR is majorly, we consider definitely the social and corporate responsibility. I would say it's differently. It's as a definition wise, if I say CSR dashboard will just actively working on plantation money or sometime giving clothes to, or maybe a limited way education. Instead, the real KPI, what I feel working with the corporates, that actually matters in today's need to real connect with the ECGs and business outcome to stakeholders' value. I mean, when we talk about our responsibility as a corporate people and do the CSR, it should be measure real and sustain impact. Plus, I would say which impact on society and the environment, and actively, consistently engagement between employees to communities to strengthen the bond and trust between, and that clearly links between CSR and ESG, and then we can say the outcome. So KPI, I would say we covered the aspects in the previous question as well. I would say it should be in input based. I mean, I would give you one, two example of this. Like outcome should be the social impact, not the input that what we have done, but it should measure. Just Dr. Sab just said that what we really getting out of our activities. Like while the plantation, what we definitely reduce the maybe the carbon. So that is the real impact of this thing. That is the real KPI of this thing. Another important point I always feel it should be more employee engaged than only the leadership of the corporates. The grassroots of any organization should engage more. So that should be the employee linked, impact, that KPI that should be part of their maybe their and programs. And it should be a strong bond uh, between the brand trust and reputation metrics, which is actually very, very important. I mean, we only promote and limit to a few many things which supposed to be much more employer brand ranking, and so that they can every employer take this as a personal responsibility, so that the as a brand, not only for the product or for maybe the good HR practices, but as a social responsibility that brand trust should develop. And last, I would say it should be sustainability and impact, the real impact on environment when we talk about this thing. And yeah, there are much more and many things which supposed to happen apart. Of course, these things are much important. I mean, what we have been doing as a corporate, but yes, of course. It should be much more impactful when we engage in which when we engage sorry for the mic thing, when we engage, it's much more collaborative and with total strength, not as a not as one of the works, or not as a one of the task as a CSR activities, but it should be completely inbound. It should be completely just like our one of the important works of the day, of the month, of the year. So, I mean, at the crisp meaning, which I always tell to my team, that is most meaningful, I would say, in today's time, that is to measure sustained impact rather just doing a one day offsite or something. Impact on stakeholders, trust, and clear business value, not just a few activities or a compliance basis, which is mandatory. It's more from heart. It should be emotional, and it should be much more effective way. That's what I say. Thank you.
Absolutely relevant, Swatiji. And I really admire the things what you have said, the one-on-one thing, that the real connect. That is really very important, because whenever you connect for a CSR activity with any organization, that is very, really important. That whatever the initiative you are doing, whether it be plantation, whether it be educating the girls or the women, or whether it be education part or the plantation part or any other thing, but it should be give the major impact. And the other thing you have involved in that, the employee engagement, that is really very important. When any organization or the corporates involve their employees on the activities, and they see the major impact coming out of their CSR activities, that gives a real impact, I think. And the most important thing is that the trust and the clear business value, that is really very important. So definitely it was a great inputs from your side. And the true success lies in measuring the long term change, not just the short term numbers. So thank you so much, Swatiji, for your inputs here. So now moving to Paragji, and now we want your perspective for the question that how do you quantify the intangible outcomes like employee branding, employee engagement, and the trust? Over to you.
Himlata ji is a very relevant and very good question, because nowadays, like, the expectations of all the stakeholders are pretty high, and they want the transparencies and accountability. And first of all, let me just congratulate everyone of my country and the people who are behind this social cause of CSR. In 2026, in one of the report that I'm giving the reference of that, कि Indian CSR, Indians has voluntarily beaten the set up the highest benchmark of 31% against the global benchmark of 22%, and that is by the virtue of and the long and continuous process of a lot of the NGOs involved, that government, compliances, corporates, people. So that's a very good and healthy significant sign for that, which means the 31% of the workforce of India, they have voluntarily done some kind of CSR activity at least once in a year time, right? And if we see on an average and the median, 7 hours is what it has been prescribed कि one person should do in India in a year time. So that is like very, very basic fundamental. And since your question is that how to quantify the outcomes and the intangible, which cannot touch. Certainly, there are three major parameters from the HR perspective. That is employee engagement activities, because that is the one every organization, the corporate would like to merge or align along with the CSR activities. I've been lucky enough to work in 3-4 organizations where I was instrumental in doing the same activity. And I will definitely quote one of the example of my previous organization, Mahindra, where they have this beautiful program, Nanikali. So first, let me just talk about like how do we quantify that. So quantification is basically the CSR participation rate. How many employees are there in an organization and how many employees have participated? For example, there are 50 employees and only 25 people have done the volunteering in any kind of CSR activity. So 25 divided by 50 multiplied by 100. So that is like 50%. Like 50% of my workforce, they have done the participation on any of the CSR activity. Now, let me just quote the example of the Nanhi Gali, which is a very prestigious program of CSR initiative of Mahindra Group in March 2022. So they made a very small movie of almost 7 to 8 minutes filler, and that story talks about a poor girl who has a buffalo, and the life is not very easy because the poverty and everything you can simply assume in a country like India, in a village. So that, and today's this time, or maybe 2 years back, 3 years down the line from now, the internet has taken very front face. So that movie was seen by almost 25 million people, out of which on YouTube it was 16.5 million. That is the data. Facebook, Twitter, and Insta, it was almost 5.5 or 5.6 million people, they have seen it. And on Disney Hotstar, it is in 1.6 million. And top of that, total impression which came to this particular movie was 147 million. So that is like how we can directly correlate our any CSR activity or any engagement activity, how effective it is. In one of my previous organization, like when I joined our on the LinkedIn page, the viewership or the followership was approximately 26,000, 28,000 max to max. And in that kind of setup, in mid kind of setup, it should be at least 40, 50,000 bare minimum. So we initially directly correlated all our employee engagement and our all employee CSR activities, which we used to do every quarterly directly and putting everything on the net. So one, it was like giving the employee a satisfaction of doing some kind of social work on their sites and giving them the satisfaction that they are directly linked with some kind of a cause which is directly reflecting some kind of changes in their life, their job satisfaction, and also some kind of meaningful impact to the local people. So we have done 3-4 major activities, which are the rural activities like planting the trees and definitely like cleaning the particular areas of the Noida, and some kind of other activities just like going to the NGOs and teaching the student for 3-4 days on the basic things. And people were happy. So it's like people, we can directly correlate all these things with the retention and the employer branding, and we can then we see how many people who have participated in the recent activities and how many of people them are like motivated, they are happy, they are charged up, they are not coming to you for any kind of small issues, and rather these are the people who are staying the maximum time with the organization. The people are coming and people are going, because everybody here will agree to me that the attrition is pretty high in all kind of industries. But this is my personal experience, the people who are engaged in social or some kind of like CSR activities, so they are the person who generally tend to spend some more time as compared to the person who has not at all any interest in the CSR activities. So we can directly correlate with the retention and our like attrition rate, how many people have left in couple of months, a couple of years, last year. That is one. And if I talk about the trust mapping, so impact is like the retention and the turnover is the one like basic and the fundamental. We can just see how many people are staying with us, and also there's a significant behavior in the pattern. Generally, they don't take too many of the leaves. I've seen the people, they are happy, they are charged up, they are motivated, they are coming there on the very regularly their job. And then we used to do some kind of surveys, that's the internal surveys, purely based upon the activities what we have performed in the last couple of months. And they used to give very openly, and they were encouraged to give the concrete and a very fair what do you call that, feedback, what activities did they like most, what is the role of the improvement, how can we do that. And there was a time when the people, they used to come and they used to tell ki, now we should plan this kind of activity. So when the organization reaches to that kind of level, so you can understand the type of like connectivity, the type of employee engagement, and type of like branding, and the trust is, many fold higher as compared to any simple normal organization too. And last is your question is employer branding. So branding is, again, I would like to just correlate it with the uh, I'm sure like all the companies mid-level to high level, they do some kind of CSR activities. So how many people are turning up for the interviews? When any HR person is posting any job on the LinkedIn or the Naukri, so like how many, either response is very good, it's average, or like either you can correlate whether the response is not good, then it means ki the people, they are not very uh, engaged with our CSR program. So I used to generally ask a very basic question whenever I used to take the interviews. Ki before coming for our office for the interview, have you got any chance to visit our web page or maybe our social media page? So yes, we have seen. That is the general standard answer of the candidates. So what have you seen and what do you like the most? So some people deliberately, they used to say ki, yes, we have liked your CSR page, and CSR page, these are activities something I would have used to perform in my previous company, and this is the activity I would like to be participate in these kind of companies. So like, so the branding is there, like the people, they join sometime for the cause, especially the generation Gen Z, which is said there, they are not only bothered for the salaries, but they also want to be engaged in some kind of productive and social work, which can directly, keep them happy, keep them motivated. So that is again employer branding matrix. Then employer branding index is the one which can be a significant tool. So I would like to quote only for these two platforms, major platform. One is Indeed and one is a Glassdoor. So once any employee leaves, he or she gives some kind of exit interviews, especially the culture and the philosophy of the organization. So this is a one again with we can directly correlate how our CSR program, employee engagement, and the branding and the trust factor is working or not. And finally, I would like to just conclude with the branding metrics and the employee engagement. Ki what kind of offer acceptance ratio, OAR we call it, how many people they have been issued the offer letter, and how many people they have actually joined on board. If your brand is good, your CSR is good, people are able to correlate with your brand and your CSR activities, and they think ki probably this is the right platform for them to join and then to fulfill their social causes. So definitely the chances of joining any brand after getting the offer letter will be high as compared to the other organization. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paragji, for the wonderful insight. That's a very practical insight, really. Really, I got some very lots of information from your conversation. And
Thank you.
even intangible outcomes leave a measurable footprint through
Absolutely
engagement, retention, and organizational culture. That
correct.
really comes out for it. And what we feel can also be measured if approached correctly, and that is very important. So thank you so much, Paragji, for the wonderful insight again, really.
Thank you.
So now moving to Jasleen ji, and Jasleen ji, over to you. And my question is to you is that can CSR truly become a talent magnet in today's hiring landscape? If yes, how can the organization measure that impact? Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Himlata, for this question. And I would second Paragji here that when he mentioned that, it actually leads to the employer branding as well when we talk about the CSR initiative. So honestly, yes, I would say that, CSR can actually attract a lot of talent. But only the CSR initiatives that the organizations are taking, the Gen Zs that we talk about, they actually want to work for the companies that stand for something. They have a purpose. So many times it is not just about the salaries or just about the company, the brand of the organization or the salary alone. It is also what they also the companies are, what kind of the activities the companies are doing for the environment, for the society. That's what they want to be engaged into. They just don't want to come to office and do a 9 to 5 kind of a job. They also want to have a purpose. So that is what we focus on when we try to attract the talent to the organizations. So when the candidates, when they are choosing between two similar opportunities, when they are, let's say they have two job offers, and then when what is a differentiator is, the purpose, the impact the organizations are making to the society, what kind of activities they are involved in, can be a deciding factor for the employees or the talent when they are moving ahead to accept some offer for an organization. Here, I would like to take an example for a company like Unilever. I read about them. We all know that they are known for their strong focus on sustainability, and that actually attracts the people. They want to work for companies like Unilever because they are into so many things for sustainability, and that is so meaningful as well. So, when we talk about their sustainability living approach, it doesn't just influence their consumers, the people who consume their products. It also plays a big role in why people want to be there with them, why people want to work with them. So, that is actually the attracting the talent. Now, if we talk about the next part, that how do you measure this? Yes, it is quite simple. So, as we already discussed about this, that it promotes the employer branding. So, when the employer branding is done, you see that in hiring, more and more candidates are interested, and many even do ask about the CSR or the purpose during the interviews. When we ask them that, what do you want to know about us? Anything that you want to share about us? Any questions? So, people do mention about the initiatives that the organizations are taking up. So they must have gone through the websites, the other social media platforms where they get the information about what the organizations are involved with. So all these factors do matter. Also, you can see that in the retention as well. So when you see that the employees who feel proud of what they are doing in the organization, and so they tend to stay longer with the organization when they have a purpose to be there, not just doing that job what they've been hired for, right? And also you see that in the feedback, that or when we call it as an employer branding, when we say on the platforms like LinkedIn, Glassdoors, Indeed, as you mentioned, Paragji. So people do talk about the company culture and purpose openly, which also in turn helps to attract the talent when people see that on those platforms. So yes, I strongly believe that CSR can bring people in, but the real ROI comes when employees actually feel that impact in their day-to-day work, or just not in the presentations. So people, they join for a purpose and they are there when they experience it. Just a small example here from my some previous assignments that I was associated with. During my work with Barclays, I also had a chance to work with Barclays organization, and they are very much into the corporate social responsibilities. I mean, the kind of work that they do is incredible, and I was a part of the CSR initiatives that they have taken. So during those initiatives, we were very much involved with, shaping up the future. That was the agenda that we were working with. So we collaborated with some foundations like Om Foundation, Niveda Foundations, wherein we were closely working with children, so small children. So to make them understand not just the studies but the other aspects of life as well. And with the Om Foundation, we were working with people who were actually graduates or who were, undergoing their graduates, so that we can help them to get employability. Giving them the skills of, Excel skills, ho gaya, MS Office skills, ho gaya, how to crack the interviews, how you have to be presentable. So all those things, we were kind of a mentors to them so that they can get the employability. Those were the kind of initiatives that we were associated with. In my current organization as well, we have supported a few of the organizations associated with the old age. So there is one, Penwell Foundation in the south, which is actually providing home to the old age people who have been left by their own people, their own families. So that is the Penwell Foundation that we were associated with. Along with that, there is another foundation who works for the children, the children from the that's one of the foundations in Maharashtra. So that foundation works very closely with the children from the slum area to for their development and all. And not only in the employment, I must tell you, Hemlata, it is not only now, it is also in the schools nowadays. My children, when I talk about my children, they are also associated with, so their school have adopted one village within the Delhi. So they do a lot of activities over there. So this is the kind of upbringing that nowadays even schools are giving to people, to their children. So now they see a purpose. Now, when we inculcate these things from the beginning itself, and the children, when they grow up, they feel connected, and definitely that is the reason why they look for that kind of a program in organizations as well when they move forward to join them. So that's how I feel the. And yes, coming back to the point, yes, definitely CSR is one of the major things that people look forward to when they join an organization, and the kind of activities the companies are involved. So that is my perspective on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasleen ji, for taking to at a ground level things. And really, one thing I want to add on in this thing that आज जितने भी हमारे एस्टीम्ड स्पीकर्स थे उन्होंने जो अपनी लाइफ से जो एक कहते हैं ना एक कोर वैल्यूज एंड कोर एक्सपीरियंस से जो शेयर किए दैट वाज रियली ऑसम एंड दैट गिव्स दैट व्हाट इम्पैक्ट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आर क्रिएटिंग. That's really wonderful, and really today's conversation is really going heart to heart. And I know who is watching, who will be watching these sessions later on also, and watching out live also, they will be feeling so happy by watching it and getting so much knowledge along with the experiences also. सो जसलीन जी, योर वर्ड्स आर रियली ट्रू. जैसा कि आपने कहा कि आजकल का जो जेनजी है या वो आज ये नहीं देखता कि कितना दैट दे आर रियली सीइंग द पर्पस and the organization they are joining, and today's talent seek the purpose alongside the paycheck, and organizations that integrate the CSR into their identity don't just attract the talent, they retain and inspire it. So that is really important. So now moving to the final question to all our esteemed panelists. So looking ahead, what is one shift organizations must make in 2026 to truly connect ESG efforts with a measurable business ROI? So anyone can start from. So I would like कि पराग जी अगर आप start करना चाहें तो please.
I think the waste management is the area where like there's a beautiful and huge scope for any organization to work with. In addition to waste management, there may be some kind of basically energy or recycling. These are the areas. And again, a classical example, which this last month, one of the hotel industry I visited over there for, and they have made it compulsory, and it is part of their, what do you call that, induction program. A4 size paper, it is like compulsory the person has to use from the both the sides. And in all the printers in their company, they have done the by default setting any printout will be coming, whether it's the appointment letter, any other letter, it will be coming, it will not be wasted on the single paper. And they're using like, and they've very categorically mentioned a very beautiful slogan ki last year we have saved almost 98 rims. So one rim is equal to 500 approximately papers. So this is one of the small example, and we should think something out of the box, which any of organization can do in some kind of recycling or reuses or some kind of energy saving. In the hotel industry, when I worked for Crown Plaza brand, so that time it was like first time the yeah, these CFL bulbs were there. Now the LED bulbs are there, which is again very very cost effective, and in terms of like the lighting, they are doing the very phenomenal job. So it was very first or second month the difference. The company changed all the lights of the lobby area and the back end area where it was required to be there, the well lighted all the 24 hours because of the operational standard issues. And within 2 months, it was seen like 25% remarkable what do you call the reduction in the electricity sizes. So these are again the both live examples. So I think that every company should think to in these lines, and I'm sure the long way to go.
Thank you, Parag ji. Really, it will be a more impactful waste management recycling one. So moving to you, Jasleen ji.
I think I strongly believe this, Hemlata, that when companies, what are companies focused on right now? The companies are mainly focused on the revenue, the cost. That is their main focus. So I think the shift that would be required at this point of time in 2026 for everybody, for everywhere, I must say, uh, they should also consider CSR as well as a part of their revenue. That how we can maximize our revenue when we get into the CSR. Like Paragji has said, Paragji, I'm really I think we think alike. जो आप सोच रहे हो मैं exactly वैसा ही कुछ सोच के बैठी होती हूँ.
Right.
So yes, what Paragji said, that definitely how we can increase the cost a lot, increase our revenue by taking care of how we are making use of our sustainability model, the society, how we can take care of the society as well along with that, how that can be implemented with the revenue and the cost for the companies, so the companies can track it very closely. So when we talk about the ESG, that often sits separately and isn't measured in the same way. So the real change will definitely come when the companies will start asking how this CSR initiative that we are taking right now, how that is actually helping our business. So I think that is a shift that is definitely required. Is it helping us to hire people, hire better people? Is it helping us to reduce the costs or the risk? That is the kind of a mind shift that I think in 2026 the organization should look for. And definitely with this shift, the CSRs will definitely be impactful in every organization if they try to think in that line. That is what I believe.
Thank you so much, Jasleen ji. Thank you so much. So moving on to you, Manish ji.
Thank you so much, and really, it's a great insight having very deep into with that real life experience from Parag and from Jasleen ji and all our panel members Swati and Dr. Rajesh ji. So, as one thing which I come into conclusion of what I observe with all the discussions is like Dr. Rajesh have a point like CSR exists since past 2 decades or 3 decades because as per his experience, 2% he mentions. So that period it is also there. Mr. Parag also shared his experience and the very well the metrics, the calculations and the impact, how it is giving and the real exposure of hotel industry because I'm also part of the same industry. And adding to one more example, the consumption of oil. They will not recycle, they'll just go and sell out to the that way. That is also one of the way to the waste management to consume that. And same way like Miss Swati also shared like the point of like a individual have to realize how to use it and how to get into not as in leadership task but as an individual task a person must understand and adopt it. And as compared to the same way as the Gen Z's are more into like these kind of activities nowadays into social media. They're more into interact with the people. When they come into the organization, they will definitely everyone see finances. But apart of finances, they look on the work-life balance. What is the culture? What engagements the companies are into? So this is one of the way to attract the talent, which is one of the question to Miss Jasleen, I believe, or Miss Swati to like what magnet to the for the engagement of the employees, how to hire for the employees. And lastly, what I believe out of all this, one main thing which is still missing out of some organization is the awareness is like very crucial because we everyone knows CSR is there, ESG is there, everything is there, metrics are there, KPIs are required to do all of these things, and from like intent, very strong intent to get into the impactful way. But same way, we have to run a small sessions, which I suggest to all the organizations overall, either onto the quarterly basis, something like a part of doing a real activity, at least should make understand all the employees or your known ones or the people like about the waste management, about the CSR benefits, about as an organization branding. So it's a overall contribution for each and every individual. It's not a one person job. So this is what I believe. Like we have to think again. I'll say to concluding my words, it's not a cost center. It's a strategic investment point of sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manish ji, for your prospect. And now moving to Swati ji, you.
Yeah, thank you, Amrita. So I would completely agree with the friends, panelists here. I mean, they have covered already all the aspects. Just one thing in a nutshell, I would say it should be rather actual uh, um, and not as a compliance, not as a karna padega. No, it's supposed to be for the leaders, for the corporate, for from owner to a junior most person. It's supposed to be part of their performance. For the companies, that's supposed to be part of their maybe the profit, and government should be more involved maybe policy formation related with CSR. So organization need to shift. It is something just to reporting ESG activities to actually linking to the action and with their business results. This is for the company. Employee, it should be more performance driven. It should be for me, for my junior, for my owner. I mean, everybody should be their target, should include with CSR thing. And it should be the real action, real intention, and not the empty promises. So that's what the crisp definition is in my mind.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Swati ji. Thank you for your insights. And now, Dr. Rajesh ji, your insights. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Ji, sir. Right.
Actually, nothing is audible from your side. What I have to tell, I have to thank all the participants. Thanks to Amrita Devi Foundation to get the input. Thanks to Hemlata and Komal. And thank the friends Parag, Manish, Jasleen, and one I wish you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rajesh ji. So, incredible insights from all of you today. And the future belongs to the organizations that embed the CSR into their core strategy, not as an obligation, but as a growth driver. From ESG to ROI, that is not a transition, it's a transformation. So, before we move towards the closing, I would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed speakers. And on a behalf of Amrita Devi Foundation, it's truly an honor for us to host such distinguished leaders who are driving meaningful impact at this scale. And as a token of our appreciation and respect, we are pleased to present a certificate of honor to each of our speakers, recognized your valuable time, your insights, and your contribution to this impactful dialogue. Your presence today has not just elevated the session, it has inspired meaningful thought leadership for everyone present here. And we are deeply honored to have you with us. Thank you so much again to our all esteemed speakers today here.
Thank you so much.
And along with it, to all our wonderful participants, if you found the session valuable, we request you to share your feedback through the Google reviews and share your key takeaways on LinkedIn and tag Amrita Devi Foundation and our esteemed speakers also. So, because in 2026, impact is not just created, it is measured, scaled, and sustained. So, thank you once again to our esteemed speakers and our amazing audience. Stay inspired and stay impactful. So, thank you everyone again and again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Smita.